when I finished med school, I took an oath, and I don't remember which part of the oath told me not to take care of racists. Like, it included everyone. Yeah, like as a doctor, I have to take care of everyone, even communists, believe it or not, and racists, and everyone else. But I guess like they may have a new oath in the United Kingdom because they're so advanced than us. They're a very prosperous nation, so their culture is more advanced than that of the rest of the world. I remember seeing movies, and this is a theme that you get to see in video games as well, where it's about the war, whether it's like World War I or World War II, and one of the doctors decides to help people from the enemy lines, even though like your own soldiers are angry and they're upset because like, oh well, our soldiers are needing treatment, why are you helping the enemy? And that's like viewed as not a very complicated moral dilemma because like the doctor is seeing everyone as human and they're helping everyone. But again, like, this is outdated mentality. This is shit that we need to get rid of. This is backwards thinking. Instead, we need to look at how the United Kingdom is doing things. And apparently the appropriate way, the equitable way, is that everyone pays taxes, right? A lot of those taxes go to the NHS. So if you're a racist, you still pay. It's just that you may not get treatment, right? And this is equitable. Like, this is normal. See, in any other situation, we would call it theft. But like, if it's the government doing it, then I guess it's very progressive. So listen to this. This is what they posted, and it's got like a big red as well. This is from the Royal College of Nursing, which updated its guidelines so that patients could be denied treatment if they are perceived to be racists. Withdrawing care. If you find yourself in a situation where you consider you may have to withdraw care, you should consider your rationale for taking such actions very carefully, right? So, like, the onus is on you. I would like to point out that even prisoners get care. Like, this was never even some level of debate. Like, even in the United States, where you have, like, some of the worst monsters ever in the Supermax that are waiting death row, even they get care. Even the people at Guantanamo, if I'm not mistaken, even they, right? Like, everybody would get care because, again, it's the oath. It's the moral concept that regardless of what you do, regardless of how you behave, you're still a human being and you're still worthy of rights. But the following situation may justify a refusal to treat, the withdrawal of care, or finding of an alternative. I wonder, you see, there are certain patients that once you start giving them care, you can't actually withdraw the care because you're doing them more harm than good. But anyway. So what is the withdrawing or care? Where there exists or there is fear of physical violence. Yeah, that doesn't stop the hospitals in Eastern Europe. Like we had in the hospital a lot of people that were alcoholic or even people on drugs, right? And once they stay in the hospital and they don't get their fix, whether it's like the wine that they're drinking or whether it's the drugs, like they become very violent and agitated. You call the cops, they chain them to the bed, and you keep treating. This is just an excuse. Like the NHS, which is paid a lot more than Romanian hospitals, should find a way to treat even people that are violent. And by the way, I would like to point out that even people who committed atrocities, like even people who did mass shootings, and if they went to a hospital, no one would say that they shouldn't get treated. Like this is a new thing. This is a new concept that I'm hearing of. I'm not saying it's like a first one in human history, but again, like as a person who finished med school here in Eastern Europe, where we're a little bit more backwards and we don't think as progressively, it's astonishing to me. It's like you can't find a way to treat someone that you're afraid of physical violence. Like what? Do handcuffs not exist? You can't sedate them? Like what is the problem exactly? Where there is discriminatory behavior, including racismus. Oh, so you can't be racist back towards him. Is that it? You can't have nurses that know how to shit talk. Like in Eastern Europe, we do not have this concept. Like if you have someone that's racist towards the staff can just stop talking to them. Or usually they talk back. And again, like if they commit a crime, like it is possible, right? Like you're committing a crime, the police comes in, they give them a fine, or they arrest them, and then they take them to a medical facility that's charged by the police, right? Like there are certain hospitals where criminals get treated, but they still get treated. So they're going to be handcuffs to the bed, or sedated, or whatever is needed, and then they treat them. What is this that, oh my goodness, he's speaking, he's got a potty mouth, and he's insulting the staff. Whatever can we do? How can we do? No, we're not going to treat. It's ridiculous. Where there are health and safety hazards, lack of appropriate equipment. The NHS have lacks of appropriate equipment. Just how much money do you need so you have the appropriate equipment? Like, this is what I don't get. So, like, you're telling me that in a situation like COVID, right, and you don't have the appropriate equipment, like you don't have masks. Like, let's say another pandemic comes along, right, and you don't have the equipment, you don't have masks, you don't have to protect yourself. You as a doctor choose not to go? Are you sure? But that's very weak, because here in Eastern Europe, like, doctors had no problem. Like, they went even without equipment. Unless there's, like, a case of anthrax or something, you know, like something like... where, like, yeah, sure, you need protective equipment that you actually don't have, but, like, if that's the case, like, why are you telling this to the patient? Like, the patient can't do anything about it. Like, if I get, you know, contaminated with some new shit, and when I go to the hospital, the doctors can't protect themselves, I mean, yeah, okay, like, that's tough luck for me, you know? Like, what can you do? I would say it's so rare. Like, I'm trying to think, like, what exactly would be a case. And again, like, something like anthrax, maybe, or I just don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, what exactly could it be that when you go to a hospital, they do not have the equipment? Again, maybe they don't have the medical equipment to treat you, right? So, like, you need a new kidney transplant and they don't have the kidney. Okay, fine. But that's understandable. Where there is a conscientious objection. Was this a thing during the pandemic? Like, if you had the conscientious objection to a vaccine, did they allow you to not get vaccinated? I don't know the situation in the UK. I know that there were places in the US, like the military, where they stopped caring. But yeah, no, the conscientious objection is something that we have here as well. Like, where they do not work on Saturday because of religious reasons. So maybe this is what constitutes a conscientious objection. Like, the patient is dying, but it's Saturday, so call someone else. Or there are other religious groups that do not consent to blood transfusion. Right? So you can save the patient's life, but they're like, nope, I'm not consenting. It's a conscientious. Like, maybe this is what they're talking about. Like, if this is what they're talking about, yeah, this is something that happens everywhere around the world. It wouldn't be specific to the UK. Where the client patient is known to you in a personal capacity. Are they like judges now? Like, do they recuse themselves from treatment? To be fair, though, like this is something that's unwritten, but it's kind of acceptable everywhere, right? Because, for instance, if you have a surgeon and they have to operate on their son, but, you know, because of the emotional attachment, their hand is shaking. Or because of the emotional attachment, they not make the right call. This happens. Like, there are a lot of doctors that say, yeah, okay, fine. But, like, this, again, like adding these here next to these two ones is a little bit disingenuous, because these are understandable while these are unexcusable. Like, every other country in the world finds a way to deal with this, and you not dealing with it is not only cope, but it's more like the politicization of the medical system. That's how I view it. You're becoming political. Other countries don't do this. Well, actually, no, never mind. China does it. No. China does it, but they do it differently. They do it based on a social credit score level. So, again, as much as information as is coming from China, because, you know, they are a very closed system. But from the information that I found in the press, yeah, like, you need a certain social credit system in order for a doctor to see you. So I guess this is the new system that the world is going to follow. Like, if you misbehave, you can actually end up paying taxes for the NHS, but not having the NHS see you. Where you are asked to do something unlawful or in breach of the Nursing and Midwifery Council NMC code. I genuinely hope that this is the case, but after being through the pandemic and seeing a lot of shit, I have a feeling that if the government asks them to do something unlawful, they'll probably fucking do it. With enough constraint. Hopefully I'm wrong, though, of course. You know, hopefully I'm wrong and this is not the case. But, you know, if you look at human history and you look at a lot of the medical procedures that aren't being done now but were done back then, Oh, if the government wants them to do it, they will do it. But again, hopefully I'm wrong. Anyway, regardless, the oath that I took didn't include the discrimination based on racism or fear of physical violence or any of the other things. No, like, there are ways. Like, if you don't know how, look at Eastern Europe. We will teach you. It's fine. We will teach. We have doctors that they can teach you how to treat people that are racist, how to treat people that are threatening you with violence. It's okay. It's okay. If you lack the appropriate equipment, maybe we can help. You know, we can help the NHS. Maybe, you know, we'll see. Very, very disturbing what I'm saying. I hope I'm not understanding it. I hope that maybe I'm wrong. But from what I'm seeing in the press, it's probably true, isn't it? That I am interpreting it correctly. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.